Alright guys, well welcome back to another episode. You can see Dad is back here picking blackberries, and let me tell you what, if you love property transformations, this is going to be a vlog you're going to love, because we are going to have one of the biggest transformations caught on a short video that we have ever done right here on this property. As you can tell, I am walking right now down a brush hog trail, and look how thick it is. This is about 30 something acres here in this section of property, and you can tell it is just inaccessible to deer. Like, it looks like it used to be old horse pasture, and it's pretty much a biological desert. It's primarily Cerisa lespedeza and blackberries taller than you can even reach in here. There are no deer trails through here. It's a predator's paradise. Now there are some of these areas through here that where the deer can walk. It's just a great ambush spot. I've had a spy point up on the back side of this property. I've had it up for a little bit and got some mineral out there, and have not had a single picture. Even though it looks great, it looks like there's a lot of cover for deer. There is, but it's almost too much. There's not anything really for them to browse on. And so what we're doing today is, I've come into this property last year. I had brush hogged some trails through here and kind of cleared out an opening that I'll take you to in just a minute. But right now we're going to get in here. I've got the tractor, a bigger tractor now, and so I got the chainsaw. I'm going to be cutting trees, pushing trees, and brush hogging these briar patches down. And that's why Dad's here, because he wants some blackberries, so he is picking as fast as he can before I get rid of them. There's no doubt he's going to be able to pick gallons of blackberries, because these things are absolutely loaded. This is one of the areas that's not even completely loaded, and just look how many blackberries there are up through there. Just a ton. Let me show you how bad this lespedeza is here. If you get down and look at it, I mean, that's just completely nothing but lespedeza, and that's in the area that I'd come and cleared last year. I had brush hogged this trail back down behind me, came in this area. It's a circle. It's got a radius of probably 30 yards or so. It's not really big, but there's just nothing here. And what does grow up grass-wise, the deer hit so hard that the Cerisa lespedeza just absolutely takes over. And so what we're doing is we're getting in here, we're brush hogging this down. We're going to be able to control it with some herbicides until, you know, we get closer to planting season this fall. Then come in and we'll plant this. So if we do that enough, we're going to start getting this Cerisa lespedeza in control here. But my main goal is get in here and brush hog this, brush hog these briar patches. We're going to get some native grasses and stuff starting to come back in here. I know the briar patches and lespedeza is going to start coming back up, but at least it's maintainable at that point, and the deer can use this. They can bed in here, they can feed in here, because right now they aren't even bedding in this area. So that's the number one goal: get in here, knock it down, make it accessible to deer, make it where we can start to maintain this more than it is already. Well, here's a little perspective of how tall these bushes are. I am 5'8", 5'9"-ish, and I can't even reach to the top of the bushes that are in there. Those are probably standing about 8.5, 9 foot tall right there in the middle of this section. They're big. So anyway, got my work cut out for me today. I've still not found a tree stand set up here, because you can tell this used to once be a field. It's just a big kind of doming ridge here, and there's a tree line back here. It's got a lot of pine saplings that have grown up right in front of it. I thought about getting in there and clearing those out and putting a tree stand in one of those mature oak trees, but while I was brush hogging, see this big cedar right back here, and it's definitely big enough to put a stand in. I'll have to see if it's going to work for our wind direction on this food plot, and if I can clear out around it enough, because there is literally nowhere for deer to walk except right underneath that. It's 9 foot tall of briars on each side. It's just a complete wall, nowhere for the deer to walk through or anything there. So got a lot more cleaning up to do, but as you can tell, I've made progress in about 30 minutes here, and I have got an absolute ton of work to do. I'm going to show you guys the transformation, and I'm going to hopefully show you, once I get this all cleared off, where I've cleared to start getting some stands set up. Before I hop back on the tractor and get to working, the one thing that has surprised me on this property is the amount of fruit. I'm surprised there isn't a bear here in northwest Arkansas hanging out right here on the property. For one, we have tons of blackberries. More blackberries than I've ever seen in my entire life. But there are actually, I don't know if the old landowner, I don't know how long ago, I mean, they're really old. Up towards the front, we do have some old peach trees. I did find a peach tree that kind of started off of that peach tree, I believe. You look here, you got some wild plums, and they're loaded. They're absolutely loaded. So I'm gonna leave this plum tree right here because it's right here in the middle of this food plot. We got a ton of persimmons on here. So we've got a lot of fruit bearing trees on this property, but the bad thing about that, they're seasonal. And so what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that we've got food all year round on here, which we do not. I mean, these are great when they're dropping and a deer are gonna come hit on them, the deer that are in the area, but we're trying to make this more appealing to hold more deer. And then as the food plots come in, as the native grasses are coming in and the fruit trees are dropping and the acorn trees are dropping, now we've got a sustainable food source year round instead of pretty much, like I said, a biological desert that does not have a whole lot of options, and when it does, it's probably going to get eaten up really quick. All right, so to say that I am super hot right now is an understatement. Been out here for I don't know how many hours clearing this food plot. Just got done, came in with the chainsaw, cut a lot of these pine trees that had grown up that were just younger pine trees on this fence line, and allowed me to have access to some of these mature white oaks that, as you can tell, if you turn around you see Dad on the tractor and stuff. Back behind him in the tractor is the food plot that we worked so hard, or I worked so hard on clearing, and boy does it look good. I never had any idea that it was going to turn out as big as it did. It is a pretty good sized food plot. Took a lot of work, a lot of scratches, and a lot of sunburn, and kind of cleared off the top of this, left a lot of the fruit trees, and this is the first step in this whole thing. So there's going to be a long ways to getting this property the way that I actually want it, but this is a first huge step. Come in, we cleared it. I'll come in with some herbicides and try to control this lespedeza and these blackberries. And then even off these hillsides, it's just nothing but just thick blackberry patches that you honestly can't even hardly drive a tractor through. The only way the deer get through there if they hop underneath the mature tree to mature tree, because the mature trees have kept the foliage from growing up underneath, and otherwise it's just really not easy for them to travel through. So I went through off these hillsides, multiple areas, took the tractor, brush hogged paths that you can see, and then if there was kind of an opening in there, I saw some bedding or something, I went in and kind of enlarged that and brush hogged a lot of those briars down, so to kind of create these little sanctuary areas that are scattered all around the side of this hill. So it's looking like we're gonna have a pretty good setup for this fall. This tree is actually gonna pay off and be perfect because it is perfect for a north wind here, which predominantly is what we have, you know, when we're out there hunting. There is one cedar tree that may be for some other winds that I can put up another stand in right up here. It doesn't give me a lot of shot opportunity, but will allow me still to hunt this food plot if the wind's not right. So anyway, there you go. We're gonna leave it the way it is right now and let it grow up. If it only grows up in grasses, that is a huge improvement, and I can promise either probably today or within the next week or two, you're gonna start seeing, or I'm gonna start seeing a lot of deer on the spy point back here that I have. I got one of their links because this is about 45-minute drive for me, and so it's just gonna send me photos right away. So I'm super excited about that, but excited about this. It's gonna change the way this property hunts and holds deer, and like I said, it's the first step. It's a big step, but there's gonna be many steps on this property. So make sure you guys are following along so you don't miss any of the steps on this property, any other property that we're doing. If you've ever dealt with a property as thick as this with briars, comment down below, let me know what you did and if it worked for you. Guys, do me a favor, give a big thumbs up, make sure you guys subscribe, and until next time, have a better than average day.